What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Harrison, and it has been a pretty long time since I've done an actual video, so I'm excited to be back. In the works with possibly doing some sort of YouTube channel with my brother, based off our podcast that we do, Gaming with the Bros Cast. We are actually running a giveaway right now, so if you go listen to our latest episode 93, I believe, of Gaming with the Bros Cast, we've got a Metroid Dread giveaway that concludes on Monday, October 4th. So listen to that episode to get the details, and you could potentially win um, Metroid Dread. So with almost a week away from the Switch OLED releasing on October 8th, the rumor mill, the rumors, all that stuff has come up again, courtesy of Bloomberg. They did a report stating that some developers have access to the 4K dev kit, for the alleged, the rumored, the wanted, I guess, 4K model of the Switch. Now Nintendo, of course, addressed that it's absolutely false. They have no plans on releasing a 4K model. Back in July they announced the Switch OLED. Yada yada yada. Of course they're gonna say that. Do I personally believe that there is a 4K model of the Switch in development? Yes and no. We're coming up, and in 2022 it'll be 5 years that the Switch has been out. I think Nintendo is probably working on the next, not iteration of the Switch, but the next console that's going to come out. I think the Switch is not necessarily long in the tooth, but it's definitely far less powerful than current generation with the Series X, Series S, PS5, obviously. So I think whatever they're working on, whatever 4K model that they have, is probably whatever the next thing is from Nintendo, whether it's the Switch 2 or whatever they're going to name it. I don't think it's going to be called the Switch Pro. I don't think it's going to be called the Switch 4K. I think the OLED is probably the last model of Switch that we get, in my opinion. I think it could potentially. I don't think it'll come out next year. A lot of people are stating that it's going to come out alongside of Breath of the Wild 2, which is, I think that's probably true, but I also don't think that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out next year. I think it could potentially get delayed. Um, so I think maybe we're looking at spring 2023 for this, and that's when I think the new iteration of the Switch, or whatever the next thing is from Nintendo, will be released alongside of it. I mean, it makes sense. The Switch came out, launched with Breath of the Wild 1, and then Breath of the Wild 2 could launch with whatever um, the next thing is. It'll be 6 years after the Switch is released. So I think 2023 is probably more of an accurate time frame for the 4K model, whatever the next thing is. I keep saying whatever the next thing is, but I mean, we don't know. I really don't think it's going to be another Switch. I think they're probably done. I mean, they had the base Switch, the Lite, and then the OLED. I think this is probably it. I don't see a world where Nintendo would release an OLED this year and then release the 4K model next year. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think that would make a lot of people upset. I mean, obviously, hardcore Nintendo fans are going to buy whatever iteration they have. I mean, I know a lot of people that have bought or purchased, the Lite and the base model, and going to get the OLED. So people just love Nintendo products, and maybe that's what they'll bank on if they decide to do it next year. But I really think we're probably looking at 2023 for the 4K Switch. So launch alongside Breath of the Wild 2, um, or whatever, the placeholder name until we'll get the actual name for what that's going to be. And then that's what I also think. So Nintendo has been pretty much radio silent on Zelda's 35th. I've personally given up on anything Zelda 35th related. I think a lot of people have. Some YouTubers are still holding on to hopes and rumors, and they kind of just keep reiterating the same rumors and speculation and all that stuff with no concrete evidence. So potentially Nintendo may be holding on to at least the combo pack for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD for next year in case Breath of the Wild slips into 2023. That would make sense. That would make more sense to me at this point, since we don't have any new information or announcements for those games. Which personally, I think those games are probably ready to go. They probably didn't have to have too much work to be ported over to the Switch. They're already in HD. So I don't think there's probably too much development time put into those games. So I think they're probably ready to go, and they're just they're probably just waiting for the perfect time to release those. And maybe Breath of the Wild 2 getting delayed into 2023 would allow them to release that sometime next year. So because the first half of 2022 right now is already pretty full of games, including Nintendo stuff. You got Pokemon Arceus, potentially Bayonetta, with the new Direct, and everything's being, announced for like the winter, which would include early 2022. So they got a lot of stuff on their plate that's coming out early. So maybe this could be, around the September-October time frame for the Nintendo, or excuse me, for the Zelda Dual Pack. But we'll see. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think there is an actual 4K model that 99% of Nintendo fans think there is, or do you think this is it? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you guys like this style of video, if you like this video in general, yeah, just give it that thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate that. And consider subscribing to the channel. I may have some channel changes going on in the near future, with my, integrating my podcast into either this channel or maybe having its own channel. But we will see. But I will see you guys in the next video.